Hello and welcome to Quiz Class. I'm your host, Ellen, and today we have 100 questions on general knowledge. So let's begin and have some fun. Why did the U.S. nationalize gold reserves in 1933? To fund welfare payments, to fortify military resources, or to stabilize the economy? To stabilize the economy. Which household device became central to family entertainment and news in the 1930s? Community radios, crystal radios, or home radios? Home radios. What 1930s skincare product remained a beauty staple for its moisturizing and makeup removing qualities? Cold creams, baby oil, or petroleum jelly? Cold creams. Which philosophy, led by thinkers like Jean-Paul Sartre, rose in the 1930s? Existentialism, humanism, or modernism? Existentialism. Which car company was founded in 1937 to produce affordable cars for Germans? Mercedes, BMW, or Volkswagen? Volkswagen. Which electronics company began in a garage in 1939? IBM, Acer, or Hewlett-Packard? Hewlett-Packard. What activity became widespread in the 1930s to supplement food supplies? Backyard gardening, community farming, or hunting? Backyard gardening. How was the 1937 product Spam named? Family nickname, a naming contest, or production type? Naming contest. How many workweek hours were introduced in the 1938 U.S. Fair Labor Standards Act? 20, 30, or 40? 40. What clothing item gave zippers their name in 1923? Rubber boots, rain jacket, or fishing pants? Rubber boots. Where was actor Clint Eastwood born on May 31st, 1930? Houston, San Francisco, or Tampa? San Francisco. When was the 1936 Alaska Indian Reorganization Act enacted? Before the Federal Indian Reorganization Act, in tandem with the Federal Indian Reorganization Act, or after the act? After the Federal Indian Reorganization Act. In what month of 1937 was Golden Gate Bridge opened? May, June, or July? May. What writing form was Edith Wharton's 1934 story, Roman Fever? Short story, novella, or novel? Short story. Which country introduced means-tested unemployment benefits in 1934 as part of welfare reforms? Britain, the Republic of Ireland, or Northern Ireland? Britain. Which 1935 opera by George Gershwin blended jazz with classical music? Porgy and Bess, Argy and Bess, or Lurgy and Bess? Porgy and Bess. Who coined the term radar in 1939? United States Signal Corps, Air Defense Artillery Branch, or Military Intelligence Corps? The United States Signal Corps. Which clubs flourished as a social pastime in the 1930s? Bridge, Scrabble, or chess? Bridge. What area of science was Otto Hahn a specialist in when he discovered nuclear fission in 1938? Biology, chemistry, or physics? Chemistry. What conflict from 1936 to 1939 was a testing ground for Nazi and Soviet military strategies? The Xinjiang Wars, the Spanish Civil War, or the Golok conflicts? The Spanish Civil War. What 1946 film addressed post-war trauma, a rare Hollywood topic at the time? The Best Year of Our Lives, The Worst Years of Our Lives, or The First Years of Our Lives? The Best Years of Our Lives. What type of invasion was D-Day on June 6, 1944, the largest in history? Airborne, land, or seaborne? Seaborne. What nationality was psychiatrist John Cade, who reintroduced and popularized the use of lithium for mania in 1949? Australian, British, or Irish? Australian. How many founding members were there in the United Nations in 1945? 51, 61, or 71? 51. Which singing cowboy became known as America's favorite during the 1940s? Hank Williams, Gene Autry or Bill Monroe? Gene Autry. Which European city's reconstruction was one of the largest architectural projects of the 1940s? Berlin, Warsaw, or Vienna? Warsaw. Which group won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1947 for World War II humanitarian work? The American Friends Service Cooperative, the American Friends Service Committee, or the American Friends Service Coalition? American Friends Service Committee. What 1940s scientific law showed that galaxies are moving away from us? Avogadro's law, Newton's law, or Hubble's law? Hubble's law. What house, designed by Mies van der Rohe in 1945 to 1951, exemplifies minimalist style? Russian Bishop's House, Farnsworth House, or Gamble House? Farnsworth House. Which 1940 novel won the Pulitzer Prize for depicting Dust Bowl migrants' struggles? The Grapes of Wrath, To Kill a Mockingbird, or The Fortunate Pilgrim? The Grapes of Wrath. Which 1945 film marked Joan Crawford's comeback? Gilda, Cannon City, or Mildred Pierce? Mildred Pierce. How many European refugees were allowed into the U.S. by the 1948 Displaced Persons Act? 200,000, 400,000, or 600,000? 200,000. Which American Performing Arts Awards were established in 1947? The Golden Globe Awards, the Emmy Awards, or the Tony Awards? The Tony Awards. Where was the housing program Case Study Houses that started in 1945? California, Arizona, or Utah? California. Which actor faced political controversy in the late 1940s for perceived leftist sympathies? Harold Lloyd, Charlie Chaplin, or Buster Keaton? Charlie Chaplin. What was the first artificial nuclear reactor that achieved criticality on the 2nd of December 1942? Detroit Pile 1, Atlanta Pile 1, or Chicago Pile 1? Chicago Pile 1. Who was a prominent U.S. voice for human rights after World War II? Joan Baez, Eleanor Roosevelt, or Jane Fonda? Eleanor Roosevelt. What building did Walter Gropius design in 1949, blending European and American needs? Columbia Graduate Student Center, Princeton University Graduate Center, or Harvard Graduate Center? Harvard Graduate Center. Which baseball team won its first and only American League pennant in 1944? Los Angeles Angels, St. Louis Browns, or Cincinnati Reds? The St. Louis Browns. What 1949 radio station aimed to broadcast American propaganda to Eastern Europe? Radio Free EU, Radio Free Allies, or Radio Free Europe? Radio Free Europe. Which magazine published John Hershey's Hiroshima in 1946, highlighting atomic bomb survivors? The New Yorker, Time, or Life? The New Yorker. Where did the public TV station WTTW make its debut in 1949? Boston, Chicago, or Philadelphia? Chicago. Which 1955 mascara brand was made waterproof for actresses and women on the go? Elizabeth Arden, Estee Lauder, or Helena Rubinstein? Helena Rubinstein. Which writer published Syntactic Structures in 1957? Steven Pinker, Noam Chomsky, or Bertrand Russell? Noam Chomsky. How many doors did the 1953 Ford Vega have? 2, 3, or 4? 2. What swimwear gained acceptance in the late 1950s, partly due to Brigitte Bardot? Maillot, skirt suit, or the bikini? The bikini. Which media began to fade in the 50s despite shows like The Lone Ranger remaining popular? Radio dramas, magazines, or community theater? Radio dramas. Which toy launched in 1952 and required kids to use real potatoes? Play Kitchen, Mr. Potato Head, or Boy Scouts wood carving? Mr. Potato Head. Where did USSR Premier Nikita Khrushchev visit with his family in 1959? Hollywood, New York City, or Miami? Hollywood. What 1950 business event is called the First Supper? The Dairy Queen opening, beginning of diners club use, or art exhibit at the Modern Restaurant at the Museum of Modern Art? The beginning of diners club use. Which actor defined method acting in the 50s with his raw emotional performances? James Dean, Paul Newman, or Marlon Brando? Marlon Brando. Which breakfast cereal, introduced in 1952, became an instant favorite? Honey and Nut Flakes, Frosted Flakes, or Nutri-Flakes? Frosted Flakes. What stationery became popular for note-taking in the 1950s? Spiral notebooks, Post-its, or legal pads? Legal pads. What Miles Davis album, released in 1959, revolutionized jazz? Kind of Red, Kind of Blue, or Kind of Yellow? Kind of Blue. What type of memory was used in the Atlas computer launched in 1950? Magnetic filter memory, magnetic ribbon memory, or magnetic drum memory? Magnetic drum memory. Which term became popular for apartments, especially among artists in the 1950s? Pad, unit, or flat? Pad. What type of vehicle was the 1959 Ford Levacar Mach 1? A Vespa, a hovercraft, or a Segway? Hovercraft. What type of pen was popular with artists and students in the 1960s? Fountain, felt tip, or gel ink? Felt tip. What social trend did Yardley of London launch a collection for in 1967? Beatnik, hippie, or mod? Mod. Which company acquired the DeWalt Industrial Tool Company in 1960? Bosch, Craftsman, or Black & Decker? Black & Decker. What toy gained popularity for its toy with no purpose creativity? Play-Doh, Blue Tack, or Silly Putty? Silly Putty. What did the 1954 congressional investigation into comic books effects on youth become? Comics Code Alliance, Comics Code Accords, or Comics Code Authority? Comics Code Authority. Which company created the Lifinity product in 1950? Revlon, CoverGirl, or Max Factor? Max Factor. Which pen, launched in 1955, was the first with retractable ink? Staedtler, Pentel, or Papermate? Papermate. Who was involved in the 1969 Chappaquiddick incident? Ted Kennedy, Robert F. Kennedy, or Joseph Patrick Kennedy Sr.? Ted Kennedy. What was the Model G product launched in 1962? Polaroid, Prism Finder, or Viewmaster? Viewmaster. What Rolling Stones song became their first US hit in 1965? Start Me Up, I Can't Get No Satisfaction, or Paint It Black? I Can't Get No Satisfaction. Which 1960s makeup trend featured thick eyeliner with winged edges? Classic bar, pin-up, or cat eye? Cat eye. Which planner system, introduced in the early 1960s, became essential for professionals? Day timer, minute timer, or hour timer? The day timer. Which Marvel comic featured the first blind superhero in 1964? Superman, Batman, or Daredevil? Daredevil. Which African crisis from 1960 to 1965 drew Cold War superpowers into a proxy conflict? Rwanda crisis, Angola crisis, or Congo crisis? Congo crisis. What 1963 toy allowed kids to bake treats with a light bulb? Playtime oven, Easy Bake Oven, or Home Style Oven? Easy Bake Oven. What agency's covert operations in South America and Asia drew scrutiny in the 1960s? CIA, FBI, or SF operators? CIA. Which toy cars, introduced in 1968, claimed to be the fastest metal cars in the world? Conrad, Hot Wheels, or Tonka? Hot Wheels. Which tool, patented in 1972, allowed greater precision for industrial applications? Hydraulic wood saw, hydraulic car jack, or the hydraulic torque wrench? Hydraulic torque wrench. What term, inspired by a 70s song, describes someone with a strong or curvy physique? Brick house, urban warrior, or dream weaver? Brick house. Which French sparkling water became trendy in the US as a soda alternative? Evian, Perrier, or Pellegrino? Perrier. Who co-wrote the screenplay for the 1972 film The Godfather with Francis Ford Coppola? Dario Luzo, Mario Puzo, or Lario Buzo? Mario Puzo. Which popular 1970s fabric style channeled DIY aesthetics and bold prints? Batik, crochet, or patchwork? Patchwork. Which 1978 movie merchandise set a new standard for collector culture? Star Wars, The Muppets, or Halloween? Star Wars. Which Charles Bukowski 1977 poetry collection captured countercultural disillusionment? Love is a Dog from Hell, Love is a Dog from Hades, or Love is a Dog from Satan? Love is a Dog from Hell. Which magazine, known for investigative journalism, was culturally influential in the 70s? Rolling Stone, Harper's, or the Atlantic Monthly? Rolling Stone. Which religion expanded in the 1970s with new churches and legal battles? Branch Davidians, Church of Scientology, or Svenska kyrkan? The Church of Scientology. What area of research did Jared Diamond publish in the 1970s that impacted environmental science? Bird evolution, reptile evolution, or fish evolution? Bird evolution. During which sport did the 1983 Pine Tar incident happen? American League Baseball, NFL, or NBA? American League Baseball. Which 1986 comic brought a darker tone to superheroes and social themes? Spider-Man, Watchmen, or Captain America? Watchmen. Which Chrysler vehicle, popularized in 1984, transformed family transportation? Station wagon, minivan, or truck? Minivan. What issue did the Hubble Space Telescope, launched in 1989, have? A rusted exterior, a flawed mirror, or a concave body? A flawed mirror. Which 1988 novel sparked controversy and a fatwa from Iran's Ayatollah? The Satanic Verses, Shame, or The Moor's Last Sigh? The Satanic Verses. What 1985 summit was the first meeting between Reagan and Gorbachev? The Geneva Summit, Basel Summit, or Lausanne Summit? The Geneva Summit. What isn't one of the main packaging colors on Maybelline's iconic 1980s Great Lash Mascara? Purple, green, or pink? Purple. Which 1987 antidepressant sparked mental health discussions and became widely prescribed? Zoloft, Prozac, or Celexa? Prozac. Which talk show, launched in 1986, made its host a media mogul? Sally, The Oprah Winfrey Show, or Ricki Lake? The Oprah Winfrey Show. What was being illegally sold in the 1986 Iran-Contra affair scandal? Arms, pharmaceuticals, or oil? Arms. Where didn't the Transformers toy company start in the 1980s? The US, Japan, or Germany? Germany. Which 1980s slang term combined bold and audacious? Boldicious, bodacious, or boldacious? Bodacious. Which tool, invented in the early 80s, became essential for hanging heavy items on walls? Wall saver, heavy helper, or stud finder? Stud finder. Which Batman comic reimagined the character as older and grittier in 1986? The Dark Knight Rises, The Dark Knight, or The Dark Knight Returns? The Dark Knight Returns. Which toad went extinct in 1989? Bronze, golden, or ochre? Golden. Comparing the 2020s to the 1980s, how much have global emissions fallen by? 59%, 79%, or 99%? 99%. And our bonus question, which Fleetwood Mac member is the first woman to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame twice? Let us know the answer in the comments. Thanks for playing this quiz. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.